Hello and welcome back to what is the final round of Tier 5 in ALR's Season 8 GT7 League. I'm your host, Ross Thorne, for today, and I am about to commentate on the final sprint race of the season. So we've got the sprint race and the feature race after. I'll go through what the running order is, basically. So we've got ALR Black Widow. She is on pole for the fourth time this season. She's won 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Well, actually, 8 of the last 9 on track, so I think you know where this is going. Obviously, clearly in the wrong tier, but yeah, another pole position for her, so she's making it work for her. She is currently 9 points ahead of Mr. Berserk, who's all the way down in 7th. We've had a bit of an update, and the DBR9 potentially hasn't done too well in that update. And then in third place, a further 15 points back, we have Jin, who's just 1 place ahead of him in P6. And finally, in fourth place, we have Lil Sheepy, who isn't racing today, unfortunately. The first race of the season he's going to miss, and it might prevent him from finishing in the top 3 and earning a spot in the Race of Champions. Some good performances, though, from T. Smithy in the GTR 2018 and his teammate Millsy. The car really benefited from the update in between the penultimate and final rounds. Stuart, a strong qualifying in P4, and JP in the GR Supra, another one that is probably the best car out there now in P5, so it'll be interesting to see what he does in this sprint race. But yeah, let's get started. We've got 3, 4, 5. The visibility is not too great. This is a 15-minute sprint race, and we're off. Now, the Corvette was good off the line previously. It looks like Black Widow got a great start again, as did the GTRs. There is a little bit of space in between them and the following cars behind, but it looks like Smithy's got the place confirmed. Is he going to go around the outside and stick it? He does. So great start from Smithy. A little bit further down, Jin's had a great start. He's up to third in a car that was nerfed a little bit in the most recent update, and Millsy down to fourth, coming under pressure from Stuart, who's also lost a position to Jin there, but backs out a bit as we approach the final couple of corners in the first sector. We had a couple of cars off track. Let's see, it was, yeah, Cracker and Davith, it looks like, and Parker had a problem a little bit further down, but Black Widow is once again just cruising away from everyone already, so we won't focus on her too much. Let's keep up with Jin, because I think Jin may struggle to keep hold of this P3 with Millsy behind him. Millsy's car is much faster. It looks like Stuart and JP are having a little battle as well. JP trying to get a move done on Stuart, which looks like he's managed to get it done under braking. Nice little move there from JP. Quite an important one to do early in the lap, early in the race. But Jin is actually keeping pace with Smithy pretty well there, as you saw Black Widow hit the wall. But despite that, even though we're on lap 1 and she hit the wall, she is still far and away really far ahead of the chasing pack. Oh, great move from JP here on Millsy. There's a little bit of contact. It looks like JP managed to keep that position. They both managed to get around the corner just fine. As we scroll down, Millsy's going to probably try and get a move done in the slipstream as we approach turn 1 and the chicane. No, just not enough. Some cars really had their top speed affected a lot. Basically, what happened in this... Oh, it looks like Bill's got a really poor exit and might get overtaken by Stuart. Actually, the straight's not long enough for a challenge. Basically, what happened in the update was a huge power-to-weight ratio shift. So almost all the cars had a lot of weight added to them. And a lot of cars, but not all of them, had a lot of power removed as well, so it's costing the cars on average maybe 2 seconds a lap. As a result, the physics of the game have changed as well, so the tyres perform a bit differently. As Stuart goes really wide there, is he going to save it? Oh, unfortunately not, and that's going to probably move him all the way to the back once he gets going again. Fortunately, he is ghosted. As we see the cruise ship in the background, it looks like Marvel and Davith and Quackhouse are having a bit of a battle there. Quackhouse in the top 10 again, you love to see it. Oh, he does go a little bit wide though, that might gift Marvel the position back. And it does. Yeah, you don't want to go side by side through this corner. This is Death Chicane for the race. It's not just me calling it that, pretty much everyone knows it as Death Chicane, because that wall right there is incredibly easy to hit. It looks like Quackhouse got a half-second penalty as well through that chicane, which isn't the most helpful. Couldn't really see where he went wide as he rear-ends Marvel a little bit into the final corner. He gets the position. I'm sure he'll give it back though. Let's have a look what's going on further up. D-Dubs in the other Vantage. The Vantage also did pretty well in the update. D-Dub's not sporting his usual livery here. This looks like his standard one, I think. So I don't know why that is. Maybe it's something to do with the update, but he's holding back Cracker fairly well now. And SD is just on the back of JP, who's now behind Berserk. So Berserk's managed to make a bit of progress and get ahead of JP, which we missed a bit of. Obviously, he is still in the title fight, but he's in P5 and Black Widow's in P1. So something very unusual would have to happen for this to carry on into what's generally a real title fight. So we're just here more to enjoy the race because it's pretty much a foregone conclusion. JP absolutely hounding Berserk. This is a great little battle, but Berserk keeps the position for now and it's allowing, oh actually he goes wide, which has opened the door for JP, and JP reclaims 5th position really well there, and he's got the inside of Death Chicane, well the first portion of it, and yeah, Berserk does the right thing and back out, because you don't want to be too close to the car in front just in case they hit that little orange bollard there and you go ploughing right into the back of them. Then it's both of you who's got, well, probably engine damage on top of just the regular superficial damage to the car, which really, really slows you down. Looks like Berserk might actually be losing a bit of pace from JP and getting caught by SD. So really interesting to see how the car performances have changed, because if you look at Millsy and Smithy, both of them have had fairly decent seasons, especially Smithy, but they have rarely been in the top 4, especially both of them in a single sprint race, which I think is a good indication to us in charge of running the league of what cars we need to look out for in terms of potentially banning. We do have another update before the new season though, on the 25th of April, which could be a BOP update. It could have 1 or 2 little changes in performance, so we're not going to commit to banning anything yet. Last season the only car that was banned was the Nissan Super Silhouette, not because it's the fastest overall. It does have an insane top speed though, so if we race somewhere like Monza or for example the really long straight at the Nordschleife, it's just going to gain a ridiculous amount of time compared to the rest of the cars, because it was built for top speed, whereas these cars were built for circuit racing. I did try it out after the update. It's very bad. But yeah, it might still have to stay banned just for those one-off tracks where it would just be a ridiculous race, really. There was talk about the 911 being banned. Obviously the 911 I don't think is being used in this tier. It didn't get the kindest treatment in the latest update, so that's probably not going to be banned all around. Yeah, this Supra of JP's, look, he's quite easily driving away from Berserk, and I don't think it's a controversial statement to make to say that Berserk has been by far the better driver this season. So that is, well, it's a lot down to JP. You have to give him credit for that, but it's also because this GR Supra is just beautiful now. If you look at the daily races, it is used in probably 80 out of the top 100 qualifying times. Ooh, as he goes really wide there, as does Berserk. Ooh, and Berserk manages to catch it. But let's join a couple of other battles. Let's see. So Millsy isn't too far ahead of Berserk, JP actually, and he's struggling a little bit to keep up with Jin as well. So Jin might be on for a podium here in this 2013 version of the GTR, which a lot of the feedback has been that this car was absolutely destroyed in the update, but he's really close to Smithy as well. So Jin really proving that he is a quality driver here, still managing to extract probably what is the maximum out of this car for him. And potentially could get P2 here, so it'll be interesting to see how the rest of the race goes. We're pretty much just over halfway through. So we've got Black Widow miles and miles and miles ahead. Obviously not going to bother with that or too much. T Smithy, really the battle is for P2 because he's only maybe 1 or 2 seconds ahead of Jin, who himself is only maybe 1 or 2 seconds ahead of Millsy, and JP's just behind. And then there's quite a big gap all the way down to Berserk, who is holding off SD at the moment. SD's really keeping pace with him. The M6 is another one that did really well in the update. And SD, I think SD's best finishes this season have actually been... Oh no, he got a P5, but usually, well, he's had 3 P8s in a row, so he's one up on that at the moment. So fingers crossed he can improve on that. If he could get a better than a P5, that would be his best of the season. Interesting to see if JP... Let's have a quick look at tyre life. So JP, probably around 30 to 40% worn. Millsy a little bit less, actually, well, a lot less. Look at those rear tyres compared to JP's. Jin actually has better tyre life. Interesting. Smithy has the best tyre life out of everyone though, so he's really managing those tyres, especially better than his teammate, which is going to pay off dividends for him as the race draws to a close. He's going to probably be able to just naturally eke out a couple of seconds here and there. Okay, so Smithy's lapping in the 40s. Last two for Jin have actually been in the 39, so he's actually catching up by about 6/10 both laps. Really impressive pace here by Jin. Could potentially get P2 here. Jin is trying to qualify into the Race of Champions. He's really key to racing it, but you do need to finish in the top 3 and have won a race. So at the moment that would be Black Widow, Mr. Berserk and Jin. Smithy is the only one who could potentially challenge him, and Smithy's 20 points behind him at the moment, but 1 place ahead on track, so things looking good for Jin for qualifying for the ROC. This is also looking really good for the 2018 GTR team, who were in 4th place at the start of this, but a 2nd and a 4th will catapult them above the Jags. I don't see any Jags in the top 8, and Sheepy's not racing. Is Reese racing, actually? Reese also isn't racing, so yeah, they'll definitely overtake the Jags. The Aston Martins. Oh yeah, the DBR9 team. They're both beating the DBR9 teams as well, and the 2013 one is just Jin on track, so if they could get a couple of good results here, they could easily overturn that 20-point deficit and win the Constructors, which would be a surprise for me, because they've been kind of out of the, well, on the peripherals of the Constructors Championship fight for the entire season. Jin is falling into the clutches a little bit now. He must have had a bad lap, and Millsy is all over the back of him. He did a 40.6, which was a full second slower than what he did the previous lap, and that is why he's so close to Millsy now. If Millsy can put a lot of pressure on Jin, Jin could potentially make a mistake, which obviously helps his teammate Smithy out in consolidating that P2. Smithy's had a good couple of rounds actually. His last 4 results, so he got 2 third places in Tokyo, but the feature race should have been a 2nd, but he ran out of fuel. Then he had a 6th place in the sprint last week at Deep Forest, and then a P2, and now he's P2 again, so he's definitely managed to unlock some pace in that car at the end of the season, which is great to see. I love it when drivers manage to find pace and start challenging the higher up drivers. Millsy going for a move around the inside here, so Jin's going to have the inside for the corner. Is he going to hit the apex? He does, and is it, well, Millsy tried a little bit of a switch back there. Jin placed his car right in the middle of the track, which you're allowed to do, and they both managed a bit of contact, and Millsy won that battle, so now we have a 2-3 for the 2018 team, which is a great result for them. Jin's also not got his livery. I don't think anyone does, actually. That doesn't look like the normal livery. Is that the normal livery? I'm not sure, but David goes off. He'll be a bit embarrassed that I caught him doing that. Parker P14. Danger. Yeah, I don't think... Well, actually, this is the DBR9 livery, so maybe just some of them have loaded. And this is obviously Quackhouse's Marlboro livery. A lovely livery there as he's dropped to P11. Stewart battling back through the pack at P10. SD's dropped behind D-Dubs. Excuse me now. As we approach the final couple laps of the race, we're on 13 minutes now. We've got probably 2 more laps left. Let's rejoin the front. So Millsy does have a decent lead over Jin now. and JP seems to be closing in on Jin as well. So Jin's really lost a lot of. Look, he's set at 41.6. As a bit of a reference, Black Widow was just set at 39.5, so that's 2.1 seconds slower than the race leader. And going backwards further still, 39.5 is Jin's fastest lap, and JP's is also a 39.5, but he's set, oh wow, a 42.3 for Jin. He's all out of sorts here. I don't know what's happening with him, but there's no real apparent mistakes that I can see. But maybe it's just the battling and getting overtaken by other drivers. Well, mind, Millsy set a 40.8, which is quite competitive for Tier 5. I'm going to stick with Jin for now because he seems to be having the most trouble in the race. Yeah, his front right is completely gone. I don't know how that happened because he had fairly decent tyre life. Maybe it was the battling with Millsy, but it's really making him fall back now. Oh, Millsy took that death chicane absolutely beautifully, and now it's going to line him up for a move here. This is going to be the final lap. JP goes around the outside. Oh, yeah, Jin, yeah, we saw this one in the steward's room actually. Jin did go a little bit defensive there, and there was a little bit of contact. JP gets around the outside. Smithy does finish in P2. Millsy gets P3, JP gets P4, but Millsy does actually get a 5-second penalty. We didn't see the incident on stream. So Millsy's going to drop behind JP. Jin gets P5. Berserk, unfortunate for him, he got P6. You could pretty much, I mean, he's still getting with a mathematical chance of the championship, but Black Widow would have to finish last in the next race, and well, we all know that's not going to happen because this will be her 9th win out of 10 races on track. Lost one of them due to using, well, not reading the rules properly and using 2 medium sets tyres. The other race was P2. Completely one-sided championship for Team 5, which I'd like to apologise to the rest of the Tier 4. We're usually really good with placing people, but it is difficult with new drivers. Yeah, I just wonder where all this time came from in between submitting those time trial times and showing up on her first race and absolutely destroying everybody, because 10 wins on track out of 11 and a P2 the only other one. It's well, it's questionable, that's what I would say. But yeah, the championship is going to go to Black Widow. You might have the massive pace advantage, but you still have to do the job on track, and look at you can just see from the minimap the massive gap she's got. It's absolutely insane. Like, I wonder how much pushing was actually done here. She did a 143 in the last lap, and she's still miles ahead and actually finishes a lap ahead of everyone else. I think only 2 people made this last lap on Tier 2, just for reference. So the fact that the Tier 5 person can make it is, well, we'll get the tier placings right next season, guys. Don't worry about that. So yeah, that was the end of the sprint race. I think that added another 12 points to Black Widow's lead. So that puts her on, what, like 21 point advantage, and there's 25 for the win and 1 for the fastest lap. So yeah, she basically has to finish last in the next race in order for Berserk to win. Unfortunately, that does rule out Jin from the championship fight as well, but I think he's focused on P3 anyway. So yeah, thanks for watching, guys, and join me in a little bit and I will cover the feature race for you.